welcome to this, and this will be a Q&A that I will be doing, I guess, yeah, that sort of thing. But don't have a lot of, well, that's not true. I have a pretty good selection of questions here. But as always, if you have something you would like me to answer, or if you have a question for me, please email me here on YouTube. Do not send the question on a comment for this video. Do not comment on my page. Actually message me on YouTube, and I will get it, and if I like the question, I will answer it. Keep it to one question. Do not spam my mailbox, please, with 50 million questions, you know, one right after another, and, you know, try to keep the questions as short as possible. That's the only things that I ask. A lot of things, I guess, but that's what I ask. Anyways, let's get started here. Do you think some YouTubers treat wrestling companies like football teams and will blindly support and defend their company regardless of the standard of product they put out? And there's probably some of that. I would imagine. There's always people who are just going to blindly follow a company or product or anything for various reasons. So I would imagine there is some of that goes on to a degree. So there you go. Hey Truthslayer, have you seen Pick Your Poison, Jake Roberts DVD? And if so, what did you think of it? Also, what is your opinion of the man himself in his prime, in-ring promos, etc.? Thanks a lot. I have Pick Your Poison. It is a great DVD. It's not, I don't think it's being produced by the WWE anymore, but I do believe that you can still find it on Amazon. It's a very good DVD. One of the best documentaries I think they've done from the WWE. You know, Jake Roberts was great at what he knew what he could do, and what he could do was work a crowd. He could I don't know, what he could do with a crowd is pretty amazing. But he understood psychology very well, and while he wasn't the most athletic guy in the world, he definitely could put on a great match with somebody. So there you go there. WWE seems to have a lot fewer cartoon-like characters in the spotlight. Do you think that the more realistic characters make it easier for WWE to get fans into the storylines like Randy versus the McMahons? Without a doubt, and I think that just the fact that I think people don't want the cartoon-like characters anymore. I think to some extent they do. I mean, there's still some in there, but they're usually used for comedy. But I don't think people want, you know, the over-the-top cartoon-like characters. I think they want a more like realistic badasses, or someone that they can relate more to. So there you go. With Noah losing their deal with NTV, do you think going back to having interpromotional programs with New Japan is a good move to help with their financial setup, considering New Japan is somewhat on the top in the financial department? I do. I think that it'll be good for both companies. New Japan, I guess, what is it, last week or the week before, ran their Sumo Hall show, which did not draw as well as people thought it was going to do. It only drew about 6,000 people. And so, you know, there's still a lot of in there. But I would think that Noah and New Japan working together would be a good deal for both companies, and particularly for Noah to get more exposure out there, since they're not on TV anymore. So, or I don't think they've been pulled quite yet, but I believe that if they haven't yet, I think they're getting ready to. So there you go, and I definitely think it's a good idea. So there you go. Hey Truthslayer, I was wondering what your thoughts are on the Kurt Angle DVD. Nobody has really given their own opinion on it, which is kind of strange because he's one of the best wrestlers ever, and this was his first DVD. And to be honest, I've always been a huge Kurt Angle fan, but after watching this video, I became an even bigger fan of his. What are your thoughts on this? I have not seen it, only because there was nothing really on the DVD except for the maybe the documentary part of it, which I heard was okay. But you know, the matches that I want to see, I already have. So there's really no reason for me to buy it, and I'm sure there's lots of other people like that. I've heard it's a very good DVD, but that's all I can say. But I'm sure somebody on here who has seen it can comment on it as well. But that's why I have not seen it, is because there was really nothing on there that I wanted to see, except for the documentary. I couldn't really bring myself to buy the documentary portion for the amount of money they were asking for. So there you go. Do you think that Edge? Do you think that Edge is now an 8-time World WWE Champion? Kind of makes the World Championships nowadays mean less than they did back in the 90s. As Undertaker currently a 7-time champion now, and in my opinion, I find that the Undertaker is better. Also, do you think that it's kind of things keeps going? A Ric Flair's 16-time World Championship will mean practically nothing in the near future, as people who aren't half as good as him, in my opinion, seem to be getting closer and closer to his record. I don't really put a lot of stake into the, the record thing, the 16-time thing, to be honest. I mean, you look at, and I bring this up a lot, you look at Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler probably won the Memphis title 100 times, maybe more. I mean, dear Lord. So, I wouldn't put a lot of credence into that. The business has changed a lot to where you do have to kind of, you're not going to have real long title reigns. As far as comparing Edge's title reigns to Undertaker's 7, keep in mind that throughout much of the Undertaker's career, he hasn't needed the title, and he was actually bigger than the title, and he would have overshadowed the title in a lot of ways. So that's why, he really, he was wrestling for, when did he win? When he was, well, the time that he won the title, people were like, wow, he's never had a title. It was kind of that sort of thing, except of course when he beat Hogan. But for the most part, I mean, that's why, Undertaker hasn't had that many title reigns. And as far as Edge, I think it works within Edge's character, to be honest, to, be a guy who, that's part of his character, is just to take, be backdoor, kind of slimy, take every opportunity he can to be champion. I think that's kind of just the way it is. And I think someone will break Flair's record. It's going to be when they break it, not who breaks it, because somebody's going to break it. So there you go. Or it's who's going to break it, not when's going to break it. There you go. Do you think ROH should get a TV title with the same rules as the WCW TV title? No, not right away. I'd wait a while before I would do that. They have enough titles for secondary titles not to have a TV title. If you could teleport back in time to see any match live, which match would it be and why? And what is your opinion on what match essentially for every pro wrestling fan to see? Let's see, which one would I go back and see? I know what event I would go back and see, and that would be Dream Slam 1. As weird as that sounds, but that would be the event I would go back and see. But as far as a match, I guess it would be the Misawa Kobashi 1 hour match. That would probably be the one. I think that's a match everyone should see anyways. So that would be that one, I would say, I guess, right? Yeah, that would be the one. With Mike Awesome being a 66 green and mean, living, breathing war machine, I'm surprised that Vince McMahon never used him when he was on the roster. You personally think he could have made it big in the WWE had he been utilized? Mike Awesome was very good in the ring, but he was not very good on the mic, and that was the problem. And once he got in there in the WWE, where you had lots of guys similar to his size, he wasn't this big giant of a guy, and a lot of the things that he did very well, the WWE really, wasn't going to let him do in the ring. So I think it was just more if he wasn't a good fit for the WWE. So there you go. Hey, Truthslayer, a lot of people who like what they've seen of ROH, but haven't seen much, me included, don't know the details on the ROH TV deal. Can you tell us when it starts airing, what channel, etc.? I thought people understood this, but I keep getting question after question on this. It's sometime in March. I can't remember off the top of my head. I looked it up and I can't remember. So it's sometime in March, and it airs on HDNet, which if you don't have HDNet, you have to figure out how to get HDNet. But that's when it airs. This is pretty common knowledge, folks. So It's not that hard to find. I just watched WrestleMania 7 the other day, which featured the blindfold match between Jake Roberts and Rick Martel. Now, the match got a very positive response from the crowd, but fast forward to 2007, where Harrison Storm got booed out of the building for doing a blindfold match. Do you think that the reason Harrison Storm got booed is because of the past generation's better workers, or was it just because of the change in times? First of all, I think the story behind Roberts and Martel was probably a little better. It wasn't a blindfold match within a cage match. There was that too. Also, the fact that the hood things that Storm and Harris had, kept falling off. That didn't help. And I think Roberts and Martel just did a better job with the match. I think that you had two guys in there that definitely understood psychology a little bit better and were able to put on a better match because of it. At least that I remember. I mean, I can remember that match, and I can remember kind of enjoying that match, even though I did find it a little silly. But the Harris Storm match just seemed stupid from kind of the get-go. So there you go. What are your thoughts on rematch taking place at Mania? Orton versus Triple H and Cena versus Edge. I have no problem with it because, honestly, I don't know what else you would do. I know people have griped about this. I don't understand why. Cena and Edge have not wrestled for, well over a year. And, Orton and Triple H, it's a brand new storyline. So I don't really see, and it's a big-time storyline. And so really, you're main eventing the storyline. You're not main eventing their feud, per se. And that will probably be the main event, and Cena and Edge will probably be on the undercard. The co-main event, which it's a rematch. So, I mean, what else are you going to put? You can't, you have to sell this pay-per-view with your biggest names. And Cena and Edge, that's your biggest babyface, that's your biggest heel. Why you wouldn't have them go at it, I have no idea, but there we go. What are your thoughts on Randy Orton? Do you see him and John Cena being the two top guys to lead the WWE in the future, with Orton as the top heel and Cena as the top babyface? I think Orton's very good, and the thing is, apparently the WWE knows that soon they're going to have to probably turn Orton face because he is getting face pops. So I would expect in the near future that they're probably can prolong it as much as possible, but probably sometime this year you will see, probably sometime before the summer, Orton turn face. So there you go. So that is not the case, but I do think that they were probably right now the two lead guys as far as younger guys. So there you go. When is the right time to bring Christopher Daniels and put him in the middle of the main event Mafia and Frontline storyline after he's done with the Suicide character? They should have brought him back a pay-per-view ago, in my opinion. But that's just me. I think it would have, but what are you going to do, I guess? Do you think that the Money in the Bank has ever been won by a wrestler that actually needed it? What I mean is that I think all of the guys that won Money in the Bank have been main evented eventually without it. Do you think the WWE will change this? I think all of the guys that win it are definitely going to eventually, they only give it to guys that they think can main event eventually. But I think that, you look at Edge, I think that was kind of like a wow when Edge won it the first time. I think most people knew Mr. Kennedy was going to win it. Same thing with RVD. RVD had to win it for storyline purposes, and I think most people knew that. CM Punk, you could say CM Punk needed to win it because, he hadn't been made to look like he belonged in that main eventer role, so you could say that he could win it. But you're not going to see a guy that's just totally out of the blue wins it, who no one could ever see as not winning it. So, there is that. If the WWE were to bring back War Games, what pay-per-view do you think it should be on? Survivor Series. Hey, Truth, I just wanted to ask you, do you think the WWE dropped the ball on Orton versus Punk? I felt it could have been main evented this year's WrestleMania if it was built up right. Yeah, I would say so. I think they completely missed the boat on that angle. I think that it really kind of sad because I think, particularly leading up into the Royal Rumble, I think, or probably even up until after Survivor Series, I think that could have been a very good feud, just to give both guys kind of something to do, and would have elevated Punk a little bit, and would have just given Orton something to do until the whole McMahon thing really got going. So there we go there. Hey Truthslayer, do you think that the Undertaker should turn heel in the near future, because he's been a face for 5 years now? Will it be good, or would he just stay as a face until he retires? I would imagine he's probably going to stay face until he retires, because I cannot see him really turning heel unless you came up with a really big storyline, because I don't really think there's a baby face that's strong enough for Undertaker to turn heel against, if that makes any sense. So there you go. The King of the Ring used to be one of my favorite tournaments. The past winners, such as Bret Hart, Harley Race, Austin, Triple H, are legends in the WWE. Do you think that WWE ever bring back the glory of the King of the Ring tournament? Will they ever bring it back as a one pay-per-view night? Probably not, because they hate the King of the Ring, because they feel like they hate booking it, because they feel like it puts them in hard situations. They feel like they have to put guys over guys they don't want to put over. They feel like, to make it, they just don't like doing it. You can always tell they don't like doing it when they book it. Last year's they did pretty good from putting it on TV, but I don't think we'll ever bring it back. I think they should, because I do think it worked, and I think it was a good way to elevate young talent. But they, for whatever reason, don't see it that way, because they find it too hard to book it, and within the storylines they want to do and the guys they want to push and all of that sort of thing. So there's that. Anyways, that's it. As I said, if you have a question or anything you would like me to answer, please send it to my email address on Yahoo, or not Yahoo, on YouTube, and go from there. Do not leave it as a comment on this video or any videos, because I will not answer them if they're comments on the videos or on my page. So there we go from there, and with that, I am out. Later. Have a good one.